So can you hear that noise all around me? Well, that was a car horn. But the noise you hear is what they call the cicadas. And that's actually a mating call by the males. They're actually hollering at the girls to try to get them to mate. So when you walk around Florida, and what you're going to find is, you're surrounded by wildlife. The tropical climate just makes it an environment where wildlife is rampant. But it's a great feeling for me. I love it. But you're going to hear that. Hear it? You're going to hear that, and that's what that is. There's bugs. There's cicadas, what they call them. And that's their mating call. And so, but it's a great feeling to be surrounded by nature and to hear that, because for me, I like the outdoors. The nomad life, what goes hand in hand are a couple things. One is liking the outdoors. That's key, because that's the majority of your time. Some people spend this life rolling around in a van, and that's why they suffer mentally, physically, and emotionally, because it's not healthy. For me, I got into this lifestyle because part of it is I enjoy being outside. I enjoy going for walks. I enjoy being in the sun. That's what I discovered in my journey of getting my health together and losing over 200 pounds and just changing my life, is that being outdoors and going for a walk and taking care of yourself is wisdom. And being in a lush tropical environment surrounded by wildlife is great. When I was young, I used to get like, I don't want to see the spider. I used to be like that. But, look, as long as the spider, a big reptile not crawling inside my Jeep Renegade, I'm good with that. I'm good with, you see lizards kind of scurrying along the pathway. You see the little geckos or whatever they are. You definitely see wildlife. You definitely hear them in the brush, and you're definitely going to see it. But that's, to me, what makes Florida special. That's why it's a special, magical place. If you don't like that, if you like to be in an environment where the cold weather kills off most of the wildlife because they can't survive in that environment, then you'd be better off in a different state. I don't want that. I don't want to die off in the winter. I like being surrounded, by nature, and there's so much wildlife, and it's preserved, it's overall respected, and there's so many different parks in Florida to visit. It is an attraction within itself, is just observing the wildlife. Again, I don't like bugs crawling on top of me, but for the most part, they're not. I mean, you use wisdom, use protection, and, you watch your surroundings. Obviously, if you go sleeping in the woods, with no protection, then it is what it is. But I just want to share with you, the feels, the sounds, the environment that you're in is hot, comfortable, beautiful, but it's tropical, and tropical means there's wildlife around that survives in that type of environment and thrives. Because again, in colder climates, a lot of species, or whatever they are, insects, reptiles, whatever, they can't live in that environment. They'll die off. A lot of bugs and things die off in the winter because it's too cold. But I like to be alive, and I like to be around a live environment. And that's what tropical Florida is. And that's why it's different than California. That's why it's different than Arizona. Those two states are also beautiful in their own regards. They also have different, quote unquote, wildlife. But to me, that's the difference, right? There's difference. Not one better than the other. It's not for, this state's the best. It's all what works for you. But that's how, in your travels, you have to evaluate what environment you thrive in, and you have that cicada call. All right, not that I recommend getting mated up. I think you should stay single. But I wanted to share with you the sounds of Florida.